Hello friends, we will quickly cover Java optional today. So let's say interviewer asks you what is the optional in Java. So you can just mention that you can consider optional as a container which holds an object, and the main purpose of the optional is to have the null check handling easier. So you can just mention that. So basically you wraps an object and uh, do the null check handling easier. Now you can add few methods also, like optional.empty, ofNullable, orElse, off, orElse get. So it will give the better idea to the interviewer that you have much more idea about the option. Now you will quickly see these methods so that you can daily use these methods in your coding practices. And yeah, this will help you to move towards the better coding practices and the clean code. So let's quickly see these methods. So first is like if you want to initialize some variable or some object, let's say, with empty value. So earlier primitive way, what you used to do is like string. Earlier, how you used to do is like string a equals to null, something like that, right? If you don't have any initial value. Now instead of doing that, don't initialize it with the null. Use it optional.empty. If you don't have any value in the starting, use optional.empty. If you have some value, optional dot of that object value, and yeah, you can wrap that with the optional and the generic of the type of the object. Okay, so this one we have initialized with the empty, this one we have initialized with the present value. Now this is the main statement. So now when you, so what this statement will give, you have to focus on that. If the value is empty in the optional, it will take the value from the orElse. If the value is non-empty, like in the case number, like in this case, line number 21, then it will take the value. This statement, message.orElse, this complete statement will give this value from here. So in this case, let's say it's empty, right? In this case, it's empty. So from where this value, it will take, this statement will take the value from this one, orElse. And we can see here else will equals to be else here, and this line will be print. Let me run it. So see here, returning the value in the orElse. So whatever value here, it will be in the orElse, because this statement, whole statement, will return the value. If the value is present here, it will return that value. If the value is not present here, since it's empty in our case, it will return the value which is present in the else. So let me make it empty string and run it again. So now it will not enter into this condition because it's returning from this part, and the empty string is not equals to else. So see, it's not there. First statement is not there. Okay, I will undo it. I will run it again. And for this case, see, this case, this statement will give the value message a dot or else. So this statement will give the value from this value, because we are initializing it with the present value. So not present, this whole statement value is not equals to not present. This whole statement value is equals to present. So present equals to present. Present is not equals to not present. And it is entering into the second one. See, present, printing the present value, and or else value will not be used. Or else value is not getting used. So you have to make sure that how you are utilizing this statement. Okay, it will give the value if the value is present. Otherwise, it will take the or else value which is there. Now, similarly for nullable. Now, the main difference between optional of nullable and optional of is you can initialize here with the null values, but if you try to initialize here with the null values, it will throw the null pointer exception. Okay, it's throwing the null pointer exception. So you can't initialize optional dot off with the null value. It will throw the null pointer exception when you will try to uh, get the values. Okay. Now moving back. So what is this? Here, this is a supplier. This part is a supplier. So I will give you the brief about what is the supplier. How does the supplier look like? Supplier is a functional interface. So you can write like this one supplier. We will cover the supplier in the depth in later. No need to worry about that. So this is lesser test supplier and equals to now test string. So supplier is nothing. It just doesn't take any input. This is a lambda expression. You can consider it as a function, arrow function. It doesn't take any input and it returns output string. It returns an output string. Output anything. Here our generic string, so I'm returning a string. You can return any object. So supplier returns. Supplier has just one method, get method, and it returns something, but it doesn't take any input. So the same supplier we are using here. So in the orElse get. So here we are not passing anything. We are just returning something. So see here again, message C is not there. The default value of nullable, we are passing just none. So what it will do? It will take from orElse get. ORElse get condition will evaluate, and it will, if we are passing some value here, then it will give that value. Otherwise, it will take from the orElse get this statement, and here it will give the supplier value. So this supplier is equals to supplier, and it will print the third statement. So I will remove this one and then see the third one. See, getting the message from the supplier. So the supplier is equals to supplier in this case. If I write some value here, let's say let's say some value. Now in this case, it will not enter because it will this statement will take the value from here. Some value will be there. So supplier equals to some value. No. So it will fail. So yeah, this one see now third is not coming, right? And again, why third is not coming? Because this whole statement will give the value from here because we are initializing it with some value. So let me move it back. Okay. So now similarly, orElse throw is there. So if we have initialized it with the optional of nullable, and then if the value is not present and we want to throw some exception, we can use new null pointer exception, and we can see that for the null value, we did get message, it's going to the null case. Now, one of the main things which we should remember is like we can directly use filter map with the option. So let's say I want to play with the numbers, let's say age, and I want to play with the numbers. So 20 is greater than 16, right? So 20 is greater than 16, yeah. If it's present, then print. So in the case of 5, we are printing 20. Again, in this case, 20 is greater than 30, no, it's not there. So it will not filter this one. It will not pass this value. So if present or else. Now, if present or else, take two inputs. One is the consumer and other is the runnable. So now, if present, it will run this part. But in this case, it will not be present because we have filtered it. 20 is not greater than 30. So it will not run this part. So it will go to the or else. Or else is this part. Or else is this part. And it will run 7. Fail to pass the age criteria. See, fail to pass the age criteria. Now we can map also. Map is like num is equals to 8. Here, then num plus 2. Otherwise, num itself. So if it's 8, then we will map it to 10, and then we will filter it if it's 10 greater than 10 or else minus 1. So that's how we can use with the map also. So uh, yeah, here we are not will not go to the or else because we are already using 20. 20 is greater than 10, and it will not map to the 10. So yeah, it will directly give 20 only. And yeah, these are the common methods everyone is aware. Is present, get. So if it's present, then we can directly take get. or we can use is empty. If it's not empty or if it's empty, then don't get it. So those are the common methods uh, which we can use in the code. But the main thing is how to initialize it with the empty, off, or off nullable. Always remember that. And then how to get the value with the help of orals. If the so what this orals equation will do, oral statement will do. If its value is there, it will give this value. Otherwise, it will give it from the orals. So it's as simple as that. And I will share the code description link or GitHub link for this complete Java project in the description. And have a good day, friends. Have fun. Bye.